Hello, I'm Panos Kotzathanasis, and this is Bad Accent Video Reviews. Today we are going to talk about Super Happy Forever by Kohei Igarashi, a film that is now screening in Busan International Film Festival in the beginning of a festival run that is bound to be quite wide and successful. To begin this review, I would like to read some of the info behind the movie that Marina Richter wrote for Asian Movie Pulse. The two protagonists, Sano Hiroki and Miyata Yoshinori, are friends in real life who approached Kohei Igarashi around the time his sophomore movie The Night I Swam in 2018 was released, telling him they were interested in making a movie where they play their own characters. The exchange between the young actors and the director formed the foundations for the script later co-penned by Kohei and Koichi Kubodera. But more than anything else, the story is influenced by Igarashi's personal loss. According to the director's own words, when his high school friend suddenly died in 2021, he found it hard to accept and didn't really know what to think about death, which is the feeling he tried to express in the film. The movie opened this year's Venice Film Festival, and as I mentioned, is now having a successful festival round, and we caught it in Busan. To talk about the story a bit, Sano, who is essentially Hiroki Sano in reality, returns to a tourist resort on the Izu Peninsula with his best friend Miyata, who is actually a boxer, in a desperate attempt to reverse time and find a red cup lost 5 years ago, which he believes to be his ticket to the past. In this coastal resort, he fell in love with his wife Nagi in 2018, 5 years ago, but the young girl died in his sleep just before he decided to take this trip. She left a huge void, and the question about the meaning of life is burning in Sano's mind, who is trying to find a way to deal with the loss, but as we see, quite unsuccessfully. Okay, being a Japanese-French co-production, the movie has distinct French connotations with the similarities with Eric Rohmer's works, the slow pace where not much is happening, and the meticulous mise-en-scène being indicative. Particularly, the first part becomes a bit dull to watch after a point, as Sano's search and mopping does not lead particularly somewhere. There are some scenes that are interesting, like the one with the karaoke and the meeting of the two girls that have also attended the seminar that gives the movie its title. But the part does not lead particularly somewhere. Things change significantly, however, with the second part, which returns us to 2018 and is in general a whole other deal, particularly due to the presence of Nairu Yamamoto, who plays Nagi. It becomes evident that she is the piece that was missing in order for a rather appealing trio to be shaped. With her charisma, smile, interaction with the other two protagonists, and overall presence making the movie much appealing to watch, even if the setting is essentially the same and the events that we saw in the first part are repeated in the second, although in a different direction. Furthermore, during the second part, the pace picks up. Some events do happen, with the club sequence being a standout, and the presence of the Vietnamese hotel employee Anne connecting the two parts in a rather smart way, particularly in the finale. This intelligence in the way the two parts are connected and the subtle humor that exists in both of them, in their connection essentially, is one of the best traits of the movie. Apart from Anne's presence, it is also very fun to see that Miyata in the first part was a nurse, but now is a boxer. Okay, it's a really funny thing to see to happen, as you can understand. Okay, this thing about the connection of the two actually finds its way in a number of other elements that are quite entertaining to watch. I would like to tell more, but I wouldn't want to spoil the film completely. Wataru Takahashi's cinematography presents the area in a way that mirrors the mood of the protagonist. Like, okay, it's by the sea, but it's not that particularly beautiful. Okay, the sky is usually cloudy. There's not much sun, and the grays hues essentially dominate the movie. The second part gets a bit more bright and shiny, and not just because of the new protagonist's presence, but also because the director wanted to change the whole setting a bit, I think, in terms of visuals. Particularly, the club sequence is a completely different in approach, with the loud music, the different colors, and even the way the protagonists are reacting being a different standout, both contextually and in terms of audio visuals. Yov Moore's coloring is once more excellent in both parts, with him retaining the realism as much as the cinematography. In another great job by Moore, who we usually find him in this French-Asian co-production, and I think this is one of the best aspects of those movies. Regarding the editing, in the credits we find 4 different names: Keiko Kawa, Kohei Igarashi, Damien Manivel, and Agathe Posse. And I feel that probably 2 of them worked on one part and 2 of them on the other. I'm not sure which dealt with which, but I would bet my money that the French dealt with the first part and the Japanese with the second. Okay, the pace does not change that much. It's always slow to mid-tempo, but the second part picks a bit, which is definitely a tick in the pros column. Okay, the acting follows the same realistic path we see in like Eric Romer's movie and in general in French cinema, and okay, we also see this in Japanese family dramas for the most part. No exaltations, but okay, as I mentioned, Nairu Yamamoto definitely stands out, and I think the director wanted it that way. The fact that she's very beautiful and the character that she plays would probably appeal to most men, I have to say. As I mentioned, she's beautiful, she has a beautiful smile, and she seems to need some protection as she has some faults like losing her stuff all the time and forgetting things left and right, which makes her even more appealing. Not much more to say. In the end, particularly due to the second part, the film emerges as a rather pleasant movie, and its distinct art house, however, obviously addresses a very specific audience. I feel, though, that perhaps some people who like romantic movies in the style of French cinema will find some elements to like also here. So this was it for today. Thank you very much. This was another episode of Bad Accent Video Reviews. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon again. Have a nice day.